Hi, everyone. We're just going to take a few minutes and let everyone jump on the line. A few more minutes. Just hang tight. Hi, everyone. We're going to get started here. So welcome to WearAware's webinar series. My name is Nora Liberti, and I'm a marketing manager here at WearAware. We're really excited to bring you this third webinar in our series, 3 Steps to B2C Holiday Readiness. And you can tweet with us throughout this at hashtag WOW webinar, wow webinar. Thank you to anyone who joined us yesterday for the B2B version of this. Welcome back, and I hope you get a lot out of this B2C version. So hopefully most of you know who we are, but in case you're new, we are a digital agency that does website design and development, email design and development, PPC, SEO, and analytics. We have a broad range of clients ranging from B2C and B2B e-commerce and services, and this mix allows us to bring the best practices from one industry to another. Today, we're going to be focusing just on B2C e-commerce. And with that, I'd like to introduce our 2 presenters today, Faith and Syed, and they will now introduce themselves separately.
Thank you, Nora. Hi, everyone. My name is Faith Albers. I'm a digital account strategist here at WearAware. I work on the marketing side of things here, primarily working a lot in email, but also doing content and digital strategy for a lot of our e-commerce clients. I work with a lot of B2C e-commerce clients as well, so hopefully I'll be able to shed some light on that today. I also work really heavily with the website team to make sure that our client websites are well merchandised, working well, and that all of our promotions are going great. So I work heavily with Syed, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Thanks, Faith. Hi, everyone. My name is Syed Shah, and I'm a Director of Development with WhereAware. I work with a team of developers in the website operations team to make sure that the website is keeping up with the growing demands of marketing campaigns and the traffic that the marketing department is going to push towards the website. So working with Faith one-to-one, both of us just completes the picture where our goal is to bring the people to the website. My goal is to keep the conversion rate higher from the website perspective.
One happy team. So here's a quick look at our agenda for today. Syed's going to start out by looking at some statistics from last year, looking at holiday sales from 2015, just to give us a benchmark for what we're looking at for this year. Then we're going to go through some holiday planning tips and tricks you might want to take into consideration, looking at updates you would want to consider making to your website, to your email programs, and then finally some holiday campaign inspiration to get those gears moving for things that you might want to take into consideration for the holidays. Finally, at the end, we'll have a little bit of time for Q&A, so feel free to chat your questions to us through the GoToWebinar, and we'll answer as many as we can towards the end of the session.
Well, first we'll take a look back to see how successful the holiday shopping season was last year. According to the National Retail Federation, there was a 3% increase in the overall holidays last year over 2014. As you can see in this chart that we are showing here, we have seen a very steady growth in overall holiday shopping for the last few years, and we strongly believe that 2016 is going to keep the same trend going. Now, talking of holiday sales, I think the e-commerce sales is a big deal here, and we observed around 13% increase last year in the e-commerce sales, according to the statistics. So online sales is taking more and more of the overall sales going forward. Now, with mobile, as you can see, everybody, it looks like, is glued to their cell phones these days, and these cell phones or mobile devices are becoming a very huge thing in our lives. That pushes the mobile sales towards the growth as well. So to keep up with that, we would recommend that your holiday promotions, both online and in email, needs to provide a very good mobile experience.
I agree, Syed. So let's take a look at some holiday planning things that you want to start to look into, and now is the time. So one thing that you really want to take into consideration is that nearly 84% of consumers are shopping before Black Friday. So this is something that a lot of people don't necessarily take into consideration. You do start to do some of your promotions in November, but that statistic is really, really strong. So something to note that it's never really too early to start promoting for the holidays. So 20% of consumers are going to use those holiday promotions to make a big ticket item purchase for themselves. So this is something you also want to take into consideration, so that even if you have a product or service that isn't necessarily intended for a gift giving necessarily, that you can still use the holiday season to promote your items to customers. Black Friday and Cyber Monday typically drive 50 to 100% more revenue than other holidays during the year. So this is probably not a shocking statistic to any of you on the phone, especially in the B2C e-commerce realm. Black Friday and Cyber Monday, I know we plan for those pretty much all year long, but we're going to kind of take it one step further and explain some other ways that you can start to prepare for those holidays. So here's an example of a calendar that we put together, something you might want to take into consideration for this year. So it's color-coded. Follow along with me. You'll see in the first week of October, you really want to start holiday planning and looking at some site optimization. We'll give some recommendations on site optimization techniques a little bit later on in this presentation. Then starting the second week of October through the end of October, you want to start trickling in some holiday emails. So 10 to 20% of your emails should start to feature holiday-specific content, and you should also start to making some website updates in October as well. Then looking into the first week of November, you want to start to increase those holiday emails a little bit more. So we're looking at 20 to 30% of holiday emails and website content at that point. And then starting in the second week of November all the way through the day before Cyber Monday, really, you want to start doing your best holiday emails. So this is really prime time to start targeting that audience. Remember, over 80% of people are shopping even before Black Friday. So make sure you take advantage of that opportunity. And then starting Cyber Monday all the way through about a week before Christmas, you want to start using paid ads if you haven't started using those already, and using smart targeting for email. So the point here is that you really want to segment your audience and be as specific as possible. There's a lot of competition out there, a lot of emails going out, a lot of promotions going out, and it's really something where you want to stand out and be absolutely as relevant as you can be to your audience. So really focus on a strong segmentation strategy during that time frame. So the week before Christmas, you want to change your ads and emails to mention any last-minute deals. A lot of times things will change. You want to note when your last display day is or the last day that you're going to be able to ship products. You're also going to want to start focusing any advertisements on in-store promotions if that's something that's relevant to you, or anything, maybe gift cards, that sort of thing. And we'll give some more examples of that a bit later on in the presentation. And then finally, as soon as the day after Christmas, you'll want to change the focus to shopping for you. So looking at directing your advertisements and promotions to wanting to shop specifically for the consumer receiving that email, or the consumer visiting the website, or engaging on your social media platform. Here's an example of Bath & Body Works email sends from last year. We just took this as an example to kind of walk through and show how they made some great decisions for the holiday season in last year. So you'll see that the color coding goes along with our previous slide, so hopefully that's something that's really great to reference. Not that I necessarily recommend sending all this many emails, but it really is up to each and every organization on how many emails they are going to send. You'll note that the red dots in this slide are specifically holiday emails that were sent out, so mentioning holidays or holiday-specific promotions. So you'll see how in late October there were only 2, so just kind of trickling in there. Again, remember that's that 10 to 20%. Early November, increasing to 20 to 30% of those emails being holiday-specific, and then mid-November and then late November, early December, a large majority of those emails are holiday-specific. So again, something to consider, that you might want to follow a similar guide even if it's not the exact number of emails that you're seeing here. Walking through our 3 simple steps to holiday readiness. First thing you want to do is update your campaigns, whether that be email or any other omni-channel promotions that you've got going on. Update your website, and then finally get some campaign inspiration. So we're hoping that you can kind of take these 3 tips and through them with us today. The first thing that you're going to want to do when you're looking at your holiday updates are to clearly identify any promotions and offers you have available. This seems pretty straightforward, but it's something that a lot of times you want to make sure that you put it very clearly in front of customers what your promotions are. This can be, discounts off of products. It could be discounts off of shipping or free products. Anything that you have to offer, you want to make sure that the customer is well aware of that fact. You also want to consider making some navigation updates. If you have gifts that make sense for the holidays, it's something you might want to consider adding a different navigation either in your emails or on the website, or both, as relevant, to make sure that people know where to go on your website to find things specific for the holiday season. You want to consider making some great content. So this can be gift guides, this can be blog posts. We're going to kind of detail a little bit about what some more examples of great content are and how you can make that applicable to your business. You want to make must-have information very easy to find. Again, we're gonna dig into this a little bit deeper, but really being kind of in your face about the exact information that's very, very important. That will help make the whole holiday season go a lot smoother for your business. As I had mentioned, mobile is really, really important. So if you haven't done this already, to use responsive emails or have a responsive website, or just make some simple website updates to make your website and promotions more mobile friendly, this is the time to do it. And then finally, you want to make sure that you optimize your website performance. And I'm actually going to let Syed describe some ways that we can do that looking into the holiday season.
Yeah, so I would like to talk about just a conversation that you might have in January after the promotions are done, saying, there is marketing team involved in operations and customer service team all together talking about how we did last year. And the marketing says, we did great. There was about 80% email open rate, so our campaigns were very successful. Then, oh, wait. But the conversion rate is not that interesting on. And then the customer service team says, we received a lot of phone calls because the customers were having issues on the website checking out, or the website was struggling just keeping up with the traffic. So that is a conversation you want to have in August, September instead of January when everything is gone, because it is a big deal to utilize all the energy that marketing has put from the website perspective to provide a very smooth experience. So stress test your website now instead of talking about it later. There are a lot of tools you can use to see what your website can handle today. Try to identify the bottlenecks in your hardware, or if it's a software, and try to address them really before your big promotions are live, because this is the opportunity you can make a lot of difference. Usually, the website performs well in a regular traffic throughout the year, but these big promotions like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or Christmas, these spikes are unpredictable. So try to, from operations perspective, or try to talk to the marketing department or overall to see what we are expecting, and try to see if your current hardware can handle it. Now, if it cannot, fortunately, there is a cloud infrastructure nowadays which has matured enough to kick in the resources on demand when they're needed, and then they can retire them later when you don't need them. So it's like you don't need this bigger house for the whole year and pay for it. You would just pay for it on when we need it. So that's the beauty of the cloud. So if you have that kind of issue in your website operation side, maybe you should consider going to the cloud. A couple of major providers in that area I would name is like Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure that you can utilize for this feature. Now, there is an interesting statistic that we would like to share with you is that about 40% of your customers are going to abandon the site if it takes more than 3 seconds to load. So we need to do a better job to provide that experience, to utilize the efforts that marketing team has been making to keep the conversion rate higher. Some other things you can do is from when you're entering content to the website to make sure that your images are compressed properly. You can also talk about disabling some of the website features temporarily to smooth up the experience on the other side. So there's a lot you can do, but we are listing some of these things on the slide to help this out. Now on the next slide, we're going to show you some tools, some free tools that can help you forecast the traffic better. One is like Google Analytics itself. It keeps up with the traffic, or it records all the traffic that users are visiting your website. One cool feature there is the real-time traffic monitor. So you can see how many users are visiting your website right this moment, and what is your website speed related to that load. So start doing that now, or even you should start doing that from the beginning of the year, so that you can see, we have these many users and the website was doing well with, for example, 2,000 simultaneous users. We can't do better. So that's the time where you want to strategize your marketing plans or hardware adjustments right there. The other one is a free tool too. It's a mobile test from Google. You can just put URL in there and it will tell you if your website is mobile friendly or not. If it's not, you're probably out of the e-commerce game soon. The third one is the page speed insight. It's also good tools for the developers to see where your website stands from SEO and from overall speed perspective. So it will give you your current score, but also give you some recommendations to improve the site performance.
Great. So we're going to walk back through the Bath & Body Works example. So we took a screenshot of what their website looked like last year about mid-October. So you'll see they started to make some website updates, started to add in some of their more seasonal specific product. Even going through the fall season, if you've got products that are relevant for that, definitely promote those during that time frame as well. But don't forget that a lot of people will be shopping for Christmas and winter-related items as well. So consider adding those in, intermingled with your fall products if that's something that's relevant to you. So you'll see Bath & Body Works does a great job of mimicking kind of that same creative in their emails, so that you're starting to see a very seamless experience between coming to the email to the website, and everything looks very, very similar there. So you'll see that this is just a couple weeks later for Bath & Body Works last year. This is the first week or so of November. And you'll see that they have started to make some more site updates here that they didn't have just a couple weeks before. So first you'll notice they updated their logo. This is obviously a personal preference of each individual company, but obviously gives some kind of seasonal flair to their website. They've also made very subtle updates. In this particular example, they just made the gifts item and the navigation green. Again, something to consider. Bath & Body Works frequently does have gifts, but really calling that out, even by just subtly making it a different color, can prove to be very effective. You also see that their promotions are right up front here. You can easily see what is available for the holiday season. And again, they're mimicking that same experience in the email. So same creative. You'll see that they updated the logo in their emails as well. So again, just overall providing a really great omni-channel experience here. You'll see that they also use this same creative in their social ads. So, even if it's not the exact same, they are using the same color schemes, again, so that if someone is coming from an organic post on Facebook or even a promoted post or something like that, that they will still feel the same holiday vibe that they did on their social media platforms. So, again, kind of wanting to make that whole process feel very congruent throughout the entire conversion process. You'll see that Bath & Body Works also updated their gift page and created some really great content here. So they have given the opportunity to shop by price, which is one thing that you might want to consider if you don't have this on your site already. If you've got kind of gift areas on the site, that's one way to showcase products. Another thing that we've seen is being able to showcase by the type of person who's purchasing the product or who will be receiving the product. And honestly, having this type of creative update is pretty easy to do and will really help you to merchandise your products to encourage people to buy even more. So you'll see that on December 20th, so again, this is just a few days before Christmas, their email promotions have changed drastically. You'll notice that they no longer have a button call to action here, mostly because they know that it's probably too late for a lot of people to place their orders online and actually get it by Christmas. And so they're really directing people. I love their use of the barcode in the bottom of this email, because really the call to action here is to go into the store and either show that barcode on your phone or print and present the email at the register so that they can receive that 20% off of their purchase that's offered in this email. So I love that the promo is very, very clear what they're going to get, and they've made it clear that there's 5 days left to get your gift in store. Again, this really is not focused on the digital realm, but if that's something that's applicable to you, definitely something to consider for that time frame. So immediately after the holidays, this is December 28th, you'll see that Bath & Body Works has changed their website to kind of go what I'm going to call back to normal. Obviously, they have updated for their most recent promotion, but you'll see that they also made changes like updating their logo back to what it was previously, removing that green from the gift item. So it's still there, but not highlighted for the holidays. And so overall, this is giving a much different look and feel to the website, pretty much removing all holiday promotions because it's no longer relevant. And you'll see that the emails that they send out have changed as well. So again, updating that logo to go back to normal. You'll see that they've removed gifts from their navigation in their email, which I think is really interesting, a great thing to do. Again, the little things that aren't huge changes, but something that if gifts aren't going to be quite as relevant just a few days after Christmas because people are pretty much done buying at that point. And then finally, one thing to note here is that Bath & Body Works has changed their kind of tagline there to say, go ahead, you deserve it. So again, focusing the advertising back to the consumer, saying, what do you want? You know, a lot of people have some, you know, gift cards that they might have received immediately after the holidays, or some extra money that they might want to spend on themselves. So this is a really great time to encourage people to get those gifts that they might have wanted for themselves. So we're going to take a closer look at some of these updates and take a look into kind of what might go into making some of those updates specifically on the website. So our first example here is from Shutterfly. This is what their website looks like, what we're going to call pre-holiday season, just a snapshot example of what it looks like. And then this would be mid-holiday season. They're showing a really great offer here, 40% off everything. So we think they've done a really great job of putting it right in front of you, what that particular offer is. And we also love that they added on here a little banner towards the bottom of the website that says, get your gifts by Christmas, see shipping guidelines, and it's going to take you to another landing page where it gives you more specific information. So they've clearly identified their promotions and made that must-have information really easy to find. So I think they did a great job of that here.
So your big promotion is approaching in a week or so. You would want to make sure everything is planned for it. Even if you reviewed your hardware like a month ago, I would still recommend doing it again just to make sure you're ready. Review your backup plans and contingency plans to make sure they will kick in when they're needed. Make sure the operation team is active at the time of promotion and ready to take actions whenever needed. So that's from the website perspective. One other thing that we recommend doing is working with the marketing department to see how we can slice and dice the traffic to the website. So one of the things you can do there is throttle the promotions, where you can send emails to segments of customers. For example, East Coast will receive an email in a different time than West Coast, so that not all of you are going to land on the website at the same time. So that helps with the website traffic as well. If you feel like the current hardware or software from operations perspective is not enough for running this promotion, the last resort is to outsource the operations of this promotion, like use a microsite. There are some companies out there who can do a very good job running these products, the holiday focused products, on sale for a few days, and then you're done or back to your normal website. You would also want to limit the customer service calls to your customer service department, because there's going to be too many people calling and you might not be able to keep up with the customer service that you're maintaining throughout the year. So we recommend creating special content for holiday focused sales and promotions on the website. A special FAQ page can help there too. Just tell your customers on the website or on your social media how this promotion is going to be handled, what is the shipping timeline, what happens if the items are out of stock, and all that, so that people don't just pick up their phones and start calling the customer service. One other thing you want to do is try to avoid making changes to the website just before the promotions. I would usually, with WearAware, we put like 2 weeks or a week, like a ban or a stop on the deployment, so that we can have a stable website for a week and we make sure there are no surprises there. You can also disable some of the advanced features on the website for a short time to speed up or facilitate the regular holiday sale promotion there too.
Definitely things to take into consideration there. Okay, so our next example is from Crate and Barrel. Again, this is showing what their website looks like sort of pre-holiday season. And you'll see that they start to make some updates for the holidays. So some special things to note here. Again, they're also including that banner on their website that's specifically detailing that need-to-know information. So I think what I love about this is that it really increases the urgency. So showing you only have 3 days left to get guaranteed Christmas delivery with standard shipping, and even being even more specific, order by December 19th. So again, that's one of the things I'm recommending, that even if you think it's clear, be even more clear. So 3 days left, just to be specific, this is the date that we mean, and then giving them a link to see additional details. So don't feel like you need to put every single thing on that banner, but really the need-to-know information. Another thing we think that Crate & Barrel does a really great job of is showcasing gifts for kind of a general audience, so gifts for the family. So although these may not be Christmas-specific items, they've done a great job of creating some content around selling their kind of everyday products as a Christmas gift or holiday gift. And another thing I love is that this doesn't have to be Christmas-specific either. So there's lots of other holidays that go around during that time, and you can kind of cater to many, many audiences with that. We also love that they showcase their gifts under 25, gifts under 50, under 75, and 100. Again, that is the right price point for Crate & Barrel. But obviously, if you do have gifts that are at a lower price point, it's something that you would want to consider doing there too. So again, we love that they're clearly identifying their promotions and creating really great content around those promotions as well. So one thing that you want to consider when creating great content is it's not just, you know, pictures and words that you're creating on your landing pages. Consider early on in the season making some product data updates, like I said, prior to the busy season. This is something to consider, that you can make changes to your product descriptions or product names if that's relevant, maybe adding in makes a great gift for blank, you know, or adding some additional imagery if you've got it that is more holiday specific. So just some subtle updates like that can really help to increase the conversions on your website. Another thing you want to make sure is that your inventory is up to date. Again, you know, the worst time to run out of inventory is on Black Friday, when you've got hundreds or thousands of customers trying to make purchases and you find out that you can't fulfill on a certain percentage of those orders. And we're trying to help you avoid that. So make sure that you're checking into all of that before your big promotions go live. You'll also want to consider removing or replacing product categories that don't have enough product in them or are empty. So one example of this is if you've got, let's say, a gifts under $5 category, and you started out with 20 items in there, but as that promotion has gone on and it's been really successful, maybe you only have 2 items in that category now that are actually in stock. One thing that we recommend is keeping track of that. Make sure that you are looking at what is in stock, what is out of stock, and adding items to those categories you know, as needed, so that you're merchandising your site as best as you can. You can also create new product categories, like we said, in that gifts under 25. You know, that's one way to do it. You can also do, you know, shop by recipient type categories. You know, there's lots of different ways that you can slice and dice your product data to create some really interesting content-based categories that will hopefully help customers to find what they're looking for and make a purchase with you as opposed to your competitors. Finally, you'll want to keep a content calendar and identify which content you're using where and when you're making these updates. I know that there's a lot of, you know, one-man or one-woman teams out there that are the person that's making all the updates across all channels, but a lot of folks are also working across multiple teams. So, you know, when Syed and I work together, we've made it very clear which dates certain actions are going to happen, and it keeps the entire team involved in that process, so that we're all aware of what needs to happen and when. This also helps to keep it clean, so kind of what I'll call in case of emergency, where let's say you plan on featuring a product and the day before it goes out of stock, but the person who usually is updating that happens to be out of the office. So know where your assets are so that someone else can easily swoop in and help take over that process. Like I said, I think that content calendars are important all year round, but especially during the holidays, especially when you have a lot of people that seem to be out of office to celebrate with their families as well. So here's some content ideas that you might want to consider to hook your audience. We mentioned gifts under certain dollar values to be very successful. One thing you might want to try is doing a 12 days of Christmas, or we've also seen kind of a countdown to certain holidays. Countdown to Black Friday works really well as well. One reason that I really like those is because they tie in really, really well to creating kind of short-term website content or even short-term emails. As an example, if we were to do a 12 days of Christmas email, if I'm receiving those, I know that there's an end to it. So I know that I'm not going to be receiving an email every day forever and ever, that at the end of the 12 days of Christmas, that there will be a break and I won't continue to get those emails anymore. Also consider doing some last-minute gift ideas. A lot of our customers find success focusing on products that are great really for anyone. Think of easy products to purchase that you could buy now and will do great for pretty much anyone on your list. That seems to do really well in terms of content. Also looking at holiday bestsellers. So if you tend to feature similar products year after year, definitely look at what sold well last year and highlight those items to your customers. You know, maybe you've got the same product with a slight variation. Things that can be really successful for sales this year, you want to make sure that you're focusing on those items for your customers. Also consider some seasonal tips and trends that might be relevant. You know, if you're selling products that might not even be necessarily for a gift, but just for the holiday season in general, that might be good content that you'll want to consider featuring as well. Here's an example from Mark and Graham, who we think they do a great job of developing some of this content. So they've made their must-have information very easy to find. They've made some navigation updates here as well. So you can see that they color-coded their gift guide. And their promotion is very clear, but what I love the most about this is that they're extremely clear about when you need to order to get your custom gift in time by Christmas Eve. So specifically note that they've mentioned a specific time and the time zone. Like I said, be very specific, because if someone says, oh, well, you know, it was this time in my time zone, and you might get a customer service inquiry, and that might end up providing you some more challenges in the future. So again, just being overly specific will be much more successful. So in order to keep your customers satisfied, you really want to know your deadline. So determine your last sleigh day and stick to it. That's the last day that you're going to accept orders and pretty much guarantee delivery by Christmas or Christmas Eve or whatever you want to call it. Start promoting that actually pretty early on. We'd recommend starting to do that probably in November, so that way people understand kind of what your limitations are, and you don't get angry customers when they haven't, they haven't received the gift to put under their tree. You should also consider if you've got different dates for custom or personalized orders, and that date should be clearly posted as well. Again, if you're demonstrating a last sleigh day, but that doesn't apply to your custom or personalized orders, you need to make that very, very clear. Also ensure you have enough staff to fulfill those orders. So, you know, frequently custom orders may take a little bit longer in shipping and handling, or you might have a need for more customer service personnel to answer those calls and inquiries that are coming in. So make sure that you've kind of prepared for that, and that you know when you need to potentially, staff up a little bit for those time frames if you can. Set those expectations. So be clear about your customer service hours. If your hours are changing or slightly modified, are you open on Thanksgiving Day? There's a lot of people who will be shopping online, but if you're not open, you need to make it clear that you'll respond to any inquiries on X date or time if you're not able to answer them right away. Also consider modifying your confirmation emails to let customers know if there's going to be a delay due to high order volume. This is really important as well, because although you've already posted it on your website, a lot of customers will kind of gloss over that information. So if it's going to take you longer, let's say after Black Friday you have a huge, influx of orders, and your normal, turnaround time is a couple of days, but you might be at a week now because of how many orders you've received. Just make that very clear to those customers when they receive that email receipt, as an example, because that will really help to kind of alleviate any customer service inquiries or issues that you might have after that point. Here's an example of some clearly identified promotions, specifically looking at search. So in this first example here, we've utilized some, or I'm sorry, not us, but Belk has utilized some site links. So you can see they have Black Friday starts Wednesday, pre-Thanksgiving sale. So this is all seasonally relevant content that they're linking to on their website. And this is really great because you can just have this on there temporarily, so even though the ad keyword that they're targeting might be a little bit more generic, you can still have some seasonally relevant information in that pay-per-click ad. The second example here uses ad customizers. This allows you to adapt the ad to change based off of what someone is searching for, where they're searching from, that sort of thing. You can use specific search keywords to kind of customize this display, and you can even use a countdown timer, as you've seen that's shown, to really increase that urgency as well. So all things that if you haven't tried yet, you might want to take into consideration and start planning that out now for the holiday season so that you're ready to go. The last example here utilizes callout text. You'll notice that those aren't linked to that same blue that we're all used to seeing in Google. That's because they aren't links. It's just text that's kind of calling out certain promotions or offers that are going on. The reason we like these is because it really minimizes the amount of work that you have to do. You can make one update and have it apply to many ads, which keeps it very easy when we've all got a lot of things to do. And you can schedule the start and end dates for this. So if you've got free shipping, but you don't want to mention free shipping right before the holidays because people probably aren't going to want to get it during that time because if they won't receive it until after Christmas, that's something that you'll want to be specific about. So all in all, 3 great techniques to use for search, and definitely something to consider looking into the holiday season.
All right, back to mobile. Since it's a very big deal to engage the mobile customers on your traffic. One, because the mobile devices are now so sophisticated and faster, that makes the consumers tend to use them more, which increases the conversion or the sales, the mobile sales growth year by year. According to a web measurement firm called Comscore, there was an increase of 58% in mobile sales, in online sale category, of course, in 2014. So taking mobile into consideration is really serious. Now, with WhereAware, we have a policy where we call it mobile first strategy. So whatever tools we develop, whatever websites we make, whatever marketing emails we send, it needs to work on mobile device first, and then we think about the desktop and other platforms. So mobile first strategy will help you there as well. Now on the slide that we are showing, we will show how this company called The Coach did well on the mobile and which areas were better. So if you see on the left top corner on the mobile view, there is this hamburger icon, which is widely recognized icon these days, and a lot of consumers naturally are going to click on this icon to see the mega menus. So we think they did a great job on doing that. The other thing we appreciate there is the larger imagery on their mobile site, is that they're big enough, their call to actions are prominent, people can just click on them easily. And the last one is that their shopping cart. Now back to Faith's rules on one slide is that some of these things we want to take into the considerations while designing our website for mobile is that, you know, your shopping cart icon needs to be very easy to find so that people can find it easy to check out, and that helps out your conversion rate to be higher too. Remember, a lot of your consumers, like 72%, which is a big number, are gonna delete your email if good on mobile. So think about that too. Now on the next slide, we're gonna provide our input on how these 3 providers or companies did on the mobile strategy. On the one on the left is coming from Macy's, of course, a big company. But we think there was not mobile friendly, because if you see, like, the text is small, harder to read. The menus are so closer together, so if you want to click on one specific category, so for example, I want to shop for men, I might just accidentally click on women, and then I will be upset. And then the other one is, like, there's so many products on the screen competing for the focus or the click. So I think Macy's could do a better job in their mobile strategy. The one in the middle is called scalable design, where you would use the same graphic with the same content, but it's going to scale based on what device is being used to view them. So on the desktop, you'll see the bigger version of this image. On the mobile, you'll see it shrink down. But the good thing about it is that the text is bigger, the call to actions are defined properly, so that would work as well. We call that as a middle ground between the fancy and the not so much mobile friendly version, because it just doesn't involve any changes on the website. It's just a graphic that's going to do the job. The third one, which is preferred, is called responsive. In this version, you want to have two different content, two different websites, I would say, or two different representations for desktop and mobile viewers. So if you see the Flow and Heart example, they did a very great job. They reorganized the content. You can scroll down and see ads, but you're just taking advantage of using the mobile phone and the technology that you're used to. So responsive is the future if you have resources to adapt that.
So now we're going to take a look at some holiday inspiration, some campaign examples that you might want to take into consideration when planning for the holidays. So obviously, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, check those off your list. You need to do something for that if you're in the B2C space. Gift guides and trends can be really successful as well. Consider countdowns and daily deals. Free gift with purchase, if that's something that you've got something at a lower price point that you'd be willing to give away, consider that that could be an even smaller kind of percentage off, if you will, other than offering, 10 or 20 or 30 or more % off. Also consider doing campaigns around the last day for shipping, offering free or discounted shipping, or even, decreasing the amount of your expedited shipping. That could be successful as well. And then really targeting campaigns towards last-minute shoppers can be successful. Here's an example from Revolve and how they created some Black Friday content. You'll see that their email does a great job of being very, very upfront and mobile-friendly, might I add, about what their promotions are. So a good example of that Black Friday promotion there. Here are some more examples that we'll take a look at from Pottery Barn, West Elm, and Toms.com, all doing a great job of being really upfront with what that promotion is. You can see Tom's is doing a daily deal, so come back every day for a different surprise, a different offer. Again, that's a really great way to encourage people to come back to your website. We love the gift that West Elm chose to do. Again, very, very engaging. So some things to consider there. Remember that 20% of customers are going to use a holiday promotion to buy something for themselves or their dog. So consider that you might want to consider if you can give away a gift that that person would maybe keep. So for a limited time, get a $15 e-gift card when you spend $50 or more. So you don't necessarily have to give the discount at the time of purchase. You could always consider applying that discount towards a future purchase. In the Birchbox example, you'll see that they're giving away a free gift when you spend a minimum dollar value in their shop. So again, really encouraging people to make that conversion because they really do secretly want something for themselves. So the next example is from Home Depot. We love this use of a gift, showing that you can customize a gift card. And the reason we think this is really great for the Home Depot as well is because there's a lot of companies that might not be the first answer or first thought when you're thinking of buying someone a gift, but really having this kind of widget, if you will, I guess, to allow someone to customize their gift card seems to make that gift just a little bit more personal, and they might be more willing to make a purchase with the Home Depot as a gift if they can do a gift card instead. Some key takeaways that we want you to take a look at for today. Remember to promote early and often. Like I said, it's never too early, but at the same time, make sure that you're making it all part of a consistent strategy. And make sure that you've got those consistent promotions going across your email and website and social media and any other place that you're making those advertisements. Just make that whole process seamless. Don't forget about mobile, super important. And those small changes can make a big difference. Making updates to your banners and navigation and those hero images, don't necessarily require a complete website overhaul, but can make a very positive user experience. Mix up your campaigns and designs. So see what was successful last year. Take some of these examples that we showed you today and try it out and see what works for you. And then last but not least, make that that information that is very, very important, easy to find. Make sure that those deadlines are very clear, as that's going to be one of the most important things to making sure that everything goes very, very smoothly through the holiday season. So now we'll take some questions if anyone has them. I'm going to have Nora moderate this portion, so we'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have about marketing, whether it be for email or social. Syed would be happy to answer any website questions that you might have at this time.
Well, thank you so much, Faith and Syed. That was great information. Just first, as a housekeeping item, a few people have asked if we will be sharing the slides, and we will be. Probably on Monday, we'll be sending out an email with link up to our 2016 holiday toolkit, and that will include the slides, so you'll get those there. You'll also get a holiday calendar to get ideas for when to send to different months, and a bunch of other great resources. And it looks like we just got a question in. How do I estimate how much traffic I might get?
This is really a great question, because that way you can plan for the future. So I would look to the analytics on your website and compare statistics year by year on the busy holidays. I would try to consider the trends that we had last year, and then you will just have a good idea of where it's going to be in the future. We usually plan for 30% more than what we had last year, so that's going to give you a better space to accommodate the growth that we are expecting this year.
Great, thanks, Ed. Here's another question. Where is the best place to create your content calendar? Excel, Word, or another program?
That's a great question. So we've used a lot of different tools to create a content calendar. I personally actually like to use Google Drive, creating a spreadsheet as a Google document. The reason I like that is because it can easily be shared across a lot of different users, and you can all be updating the same document and have access to it, even if it's at the same time, so you're not concerned about creating any duplicate pieces. I also like it because you can have separate tabs. So frequently we'll have, let's say, an email marketing tab, and we'll have a Facebook tab and an Instagram tab, and then maybe we'll have another tab that specifically marks the promotion dates and the coupon codes that go along with them. So I personally like that tabbed functionality because it does allow you to have a lot of versatility without having to scroll through a long Word document. And then even if you want to take it one step further, you could kind of map out your actual email sends on a calendar, or those promotional days on a calendar. You can use Google Calendar for that. Again, easily shared. And depending on how tied to your phone you are, you could even have that shared to your phone as well, so it can give you notifications for if you need to make any manual updates for any reason, and you can really automate that process as well.
Great, thanks so much, Faith. This next question is definitely great, since Faith mentioned that if you are a B2C e-commerce company, you should be marketing for both Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So the question is, since Black Friday and Cyber Monday are so close together, how do I know which to promote more?
That is a really good question. One thing I would take into consideration is if you do have a brick and mortar location, Black Friday can be really important specifically to try and drive people to the brick and mortar location. For a lot of our customers, we actually weight them pretty evenly. Cyber Monday didn't always used to be around, I guess, and so Black Friday was always the big holiday. But now, honestly, Cyber Monday has really turned into Cyber Week, and then you've got Small Business Saturday, and then you've got Green Monday, and there's all these holidays that come around that you should definitely consider. I would not limit, I guess, your promotion budget to just one holiday or the other. I would make sure that you're driving kind of equal attention to both. But if you did have to show a preference, I would highly encourage you to really focus on Cyber Monday, especially in the e-commerce realm. Like I said, there's a lot of really great promotions that happen on Cyber Monday, so you want to make sure that you're being competitive with your audience as well, because they'll have a lot of competition both in their inbox and just the digital realm in general for different retailers trying to get their attention and trying to get the conversion on their site. So definitely don't discount either day, but make sure you're focusing on Cyber Monday.
Great. Looks like we have time for about one more. My busier shopping season is in December. Should I continue to send emails in January after the holidays?
I absolutely think you should. Definitely consider the fact that you might actually gain a lot of email addresses during that holiday season. So you want to make sure that you have a content calendar in place, a promotion calendar, if you will, so that you're not just completely halting your emails into January, but that you've got a steady kind of stream of relevant content to them. So one thing you might want to consider is that if you've got automated emails that are set up, that during the holidays you might want to modify those or even pause them temporarily so people aren't getting bombarded with too many emails, because you are increasing the number of one-off or email blasts that you're doing. But definitely consider continuing to send that relevant content into January, as it won't be gift specific, but that's the time to reach back out to those customers and say, you know, even a message like, thanks for joining us during the holiday season, you know, set your email preferences, that sort of thing, so that you're continuing that conversation with those customers and that you don't just lose them after they've made that purchase or join your list just for a promotional reason in the holiday season.
Great, thanks so much. We're going to wrap up this webinar. Thank you so much for everyone who came on the line, and look out in the next few days for that holiday toolkit coming your way. Thanks so much.